Oh, guys, gals, kids. Well, just got done with moving some snow. So, we got snow again last night. I got a number of things to talk about this morning. I kind of vacillate between subjects here, between bushcrafted survival, which I haven't done a lot of that lately. Did some Minuteman stuff, and we do some Bible stuff, and we do government stuff. So the Bible stuff and the government stuff are kind of like, in the world and not in the world, You understand what I'm saying about that? If you don't, well, the Lord says that, we should not be in this world. Like, we should not be totally involved and engrossed in this world, because we're destined for another world, which is His kingdom. So, but we got to hold down the fort here until whatever happens, happens, right? Because we're still here, It says in the Bible we don't even know how good things are going to be with the Father, right? So, mind cannot conceive and eye cannot, your eyes, you don't even know how beautiful some things are going to be in the kingdom of God. But the thing is He will renew the earth at some point anyway, because He owns it ultimately. He's just kind of letting the devil have his time testing people, put people to the test and all that jazz. But anyway, what do I have to talk about today? Well, I've got several different things. Not all related, but well, first of all, I'm going to sit down. Oh, I wanted to point this out. So I got today out here on the patch panel, I've got Smokey, because you should always be careful with fire, especially in the woods. Go out in the big woods, be careful with your fires. Make sure you spread out, clear out 10 to 15 feet all around where you're going to have your fire. And then build your fire, then build it small. Don't build a big honking fire, And the American Indians made fires. They were always small, so that you could easily control it. You only used so much amount of fuel and so on, right? So anyway, keep that, bear that in mind. So the next thing I wanted to point out is I got the Tolkien patch, JRR Tolkien. I think they call that an anagram or whatever. He made that, his little symbol there, and I painted this up. It was a real bear to paint this up, but I got it done because it's in layers. Anyway, my buddy Jim, who lives in Costa Rica, he dubbed this Tactical Tolkien. So that's Tactical Tolkien. Shout out to Jim. Alright, so what do we got up next here? Well, next I'm going to sit down. I'm going to have a slug of coffee and I'm going to sit down here. Yeah. So this is coffee with some whole milk, a little bit of whole milk. If I'm in a situation where milk is not convenient, then I just drink it black. If coffee's coffee, if that's all I got is coffee, I drink it black. Doesn't matter. But if I have the luxury of a little bit of whole milk, and in this case this morning I put honey in there, dark honey, because you guys know that dark honey is the best honey, right? Okay, if you don't know that dark honey is the best honey, go back and watch my videos where I talk about bees, okay, and I explain all that. Alright, so where was I? Coffee. Alright, I got another mug coming, by the way. Brown one. This is an Aladdin 12 ounce in green. I have an Aladdin 16 ounce in brown coming. So that way, and these will, you know, these I could use in my outdoors kit because insulated, right? Nobody likes to drink cold coffee except for one person that I know. And, well, I like cold coffee too, but most of the time I like hot coffee. So let's get on here to this list. We're going to talk about a few things. First thing I'm going to do, get my trousers back up underneath my belt there from just moving around and doing stuff earlier. So I want to tell you about a sale. I'm not making anything off of it. I'm just giving you a heads up. Wool watch cap, 100% wool, made to military spec. On sale right now, $17 at blackwoolcap.com. So that fella is a Navy vet, if I remember correctly. He has, I don't know if he makes them or he has somebody else make them, but they're made in USA to military spec. Black watch cap, and the web address is blackwoolcap.com. $17 right now, which is a good deal. It's not a $5 acrylic piece of crap from your box store, okay? You could pay a couple bucks more for a real wool cap, and it's worth it. Alright, so what else do I want to talk about? I want to talk about Trump and the tariffs real quick. So when this country started, there wasn't any property tax and income tax. I can hear your jaws dropping right now. Not your draws, but your jaws. your jaws are dropping right now, hitting the deck, right? So tariffs was how the government paid its bills. That's right. All the way up until 1913, the government paid its bills through tariffs. Okay? They laid tariffs on goods coming into the country. They you know, they said, hey, if you want us to buy your stuff, you know, then you know, it's going to cost this much, right? So anyway, so they didn't have any income tax. Then we got taken for a ride in 1913, and they said, "Oh, we need this income tax, you know, to catch up on things, and we're gonna get rid of it later." Well, that's not what happened. It ended up they put that 17th, I think it's the 17th Amendment, and I heard that it was never ratified, so it's not even legal. They've been charging us income tax illegally since 1913. But even before that, it was illegal. That's right. And so, but the tariff thing, let me tell you, and I want you guys to spread this around. Everybody's crying about tariffs because they don't know anything about tariffs. Well, tariffs allowed us to not have an income tax. So what does this mean? Now they have introduced House Resolution 25, okay, to abolish the IRS. So everybody needs to get behind that and help to get the IRS abolished. Okay? HR 25, right? Abolishing the IRS. That's what that's about. So I don't agree with everything that Trump does. Of course, I don't agree with the government most of the time because, you know, I'm just kind of tired of the government taking everybody for a ride and stealing all of our money and everything. So what this does is it frees us up from income tax, which means that we basically double our income because we're no longer being extorted out of our money that we make. So if we abolish the IRS, everybody's income is almost going to double. And what does this do? It makes the economy stronger because we have more money to do the things that we want to do. Not only to buy food and clothing and whatnot, but to have a place to live and so on, buy a house, whatnot, okay? So it makes the economy stronger. So no income tax. Let me get, I better keep this over here. Do I have anything else on there? No. Alright, okay, that's done. Okay, let me, really quick, I got about 4 minutes here. I'm gonna cover this kind of quick, so I want you to listen up. And if you need to, go back and take notes, okay? So I got HR 25 on the Congress website up here. It says, to promote freedom, fairness, and economic opportunity by repealing the income tax and other taxes, it says. Abolishing the Internal Revenue Service and enacting a national sales tax to be administered primarily by the states. So that means that your sales taxes, when you go to buy something, which is something that I have told you guys about before, when you voluntary tax, right? If you don't really need it, you don't have to buy it. So you're not being forced into it. But sales taxes are all over the place in this country. You go from one state or even one city to the next sometimes. Some have a lot of sales tax. Sometimes you have only a little bit of sales tax. And what they're talking about this is standardizing it and making it the same all across the board everywhere in the U.S., okay? Sales tax. So if you want to buy something, there will be a sales tax on it. But you won't have no more income tax, okay? But what we got to do is we have to get rid of property tax 100%. It's got to go. Never had property tax a long time ago. I got something here. I'm pretty sure I kept it. If I didn't keep it, I'll find it again and I'll bring it up on another video. But it talks about how property tax and income tax were both unconstitutional, okay? And was already brought up in the government and kicked down. We're talking a long time ago, 1800s, all right? But it doesn't matter. It's after this country was founded, people trying to do stupid stuff, trying to extort the people, and it got kicked down. And anyway, I'm not seeing it. For some reason, I must have closed those windows, because you know how you get too many windows and you close them trying to make space, right? All right, so I don't see it on here. But there's a website where I found where income tax was introduced at one time in the 1800s, and then they said this is unconstitutional according to the Constitution. So we're going to rule this unconstitutional, and it's going away. And so what the government did, what the little weasels did later, the smart ones are the ones that kicked it down. And then the weasels that got into government later, probably after Rockefeller got to, trying to manipulate them, they said, "Oh, we're gonna do the 17th Amendment, and we're gonna make it like this." See, they twist words and stuff to their agenda, right? That's why the government should not be allowed to make amendments. No, they shouldn't. We need to change that. We need to change things. We need to get rid of eminent domain. We need to get rid of property tax, income tax. All those things need to go away. And we're going to be hitting these people hard over this stuff. So what we're doing as Christians, we're trying to occupy and we're trying to right the ship, because the ship's been sinking for a while. It's almost to the point where you're like the kid on the Titanic hanging onto a board. You know, it's almost that bad. All right, come back in another one. I'll see you there.